Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Chuck Emmert with the City of Phoenix Communications Office. I'm standing right out in front of Phoenix City Hall and the historic Orpheum Theater you see behind me here today. This morning, we've got a big event happening today. We're unveiling some important vans that will be used as part of the Census Outreach, the Census 2020 outreach that starts later this fall and early next year. So I want to take you over here and show you some things. There's a big press event happening today, and I want to show you exactly what's going on. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, come around this way. You can see this setup over here. We've got right now a mariachi band that is performing some music here. Let me give you a look at this. This event today is all about unveiling some new vans here that will be used in the city's census outreach effort. So this is a press conference. We're right here on Adams Street and about 2nd Avenue here in Phoenix. And this is an area here that has been chosen today to unveil some new equipment that will be used as part of the City of Phoenix Census Outreach for 2020. So this census is a little bit different. Some of the forms will be mailed out, but a lot of the census this year is going to be conducted online. And so the city has decided to increase its outreach by outfitting some of these old dial-a-ride vans that you see behind me over here that will be used as mobile census outreach vehicles. They'll be taken all around Phoenix, and then people will be invited on board in order to have some help with experts in sort of filling out the census. So the census is very important to us here in Phoenix in 2020. We need to get an accurate count of the population of Phoenix. It involves a lot of different things, and it involves funding as well. So there's a lot of money, a lot of federal money that is on the board that can be gathered, and we need to have an accurate count, because the more people that we count here in Phoenix, the more money that is used for city services and other uses in the city of Phoenix. So I'm going to flip you around here. Today is a big press event today that will be conducted to announce these vans. But let me give you a bit of a look right now before the event starts. So this is an area here where the media is setting up in this spot over here. And again, like I mentioned, we are right in front of City Hall. You can see it up there. And then around this area, we have members of the media, as well as some music over here. mentioned to earlier viewers, is an effort to get out the word about new vans that are being used with the City of Phoenix. And you can see some of these vans behind me here, but these are former dial-a-ride vans that have been retrofitted in order to be used as part of our census outreach session. So let's take a look on board one of these as we wait for the event to start. So these vans, as I mentioned, have been redone inside. This is what it looks like inside the van, but there's tablets inside here. There are seats, and it's all part of the effort to get an accurate count for the U.S. Census that's coming this coming year. So in 2020, every 10 years, by federal law, a census is mandated. And this is part of the city's efforts to make sure that we get an accurate count in the city of Phoenix, the number of people. Now, this can affect a lot of different things in Phoenix. Funding, for one thing. There's about $570 or so for every single person that is counted in terms of city funding that can be used for a lot of different services, reliable transportation, parks, the infrastructure of Phoenix, streets and things of that nature. So this money is something that we want to make sure we get our correct amount of the federal funding for that as well. So to kind of get things kicked off today, we've got this mariachi band. This is the podium you see here where the mayor, members of our city council, and other people involved with the census will be conducting remarks here. Right now, we're just kind of kicking off the event with the mariachi band. There's Mayor Gallego over here that is posing in front of one of the vans. I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look here at what's happening today. This is a very important effort that the city has undertaken, and we know that in order to get everyone counted correctly, we need to do this type of outreach because there's a lot of people in areas of Phoenix that may not have internet access, and they may not have the type of equipment needed to get an accurate count for the census. So these vans were set to be surplus, but then have been repurposed to be used as census gathering vans. So we'll have about 10 of these on the streets, and they'll go all throughout Phoenix when it's time to make that count for the census. People here today can view inside the vans.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I just want to get away.
As you can see, the vans are quite roomy. They're air conditioned. They have all the equipment inside here necessary to make an accurate count for the city of Phoenix in this year's Census 2020. The effort will start this fall, but the census actually starts early next year, the count. These vans were formerly dial-a-ride vans and were set to be surplus by the city of Phoenix, but the city council and city staff under the direction were able to use these vans for a year and create a mobile census platform here. So they'll be equipped with people that are able to help you fill out the right form for the census and to get it submitted on time. As I mentioned here, many people are attending this event today, members of our city council. And other folks are here today. We closed off part of Monroe Street today in order to make it safe for all of the attendees of this event. And I think soon the event will start. Mayor, members of the city council will make their remarks and then introduce these new vans to the public. If you've ever been down here before, it's really a beautiful spot. This is the historic Orpheum Theater, and this spot right here, right behind it, City Hall. City Hall was built right about in the mid-90s or so, and the historic Orpheum Theater was integrated into this here as well. So this is a perfect spot to do this type of thing. let's listen to a little bit more of the mariachis before the press conference actually begins. Move to the other side of the stage here and get set up. Looks like the remarks are just about to begin. This is at the podium right now is Albert Santana with the City of Phoenix, and he is leading our efforts in the census campaign for 2020.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And if we could begin by giving a nice round of applause to Mariachi Juvenil de mi Tierra. How awesome were they? So, my name is Albert Santana, and I am the Census Director for the City of Phoenix. And today is an exciting morning that highlights amazing work that has been done by the Phoenix team and our outstanding partners on what will be one of the most important campaigns for our city, as well as at the state and national levels. Today, I'd like to recognize what I kind of call my partner in census, Leila Gamis, Phoenix Census Coordinator, who has worked tirelessly every day leading efforts for today's press conference. Leila, wherever you are out there, thank you so much for everything that you do. And to the entire census team, thank you to each of you for all the work that you've done. Today is truly a reflection of collaborative work. Every person, every department, all of you, I want you to know that each of you have played a vital role in pulling off today's event. At this point, I would like to recognize our dignitaries, of course, mayor and council members. Thank you for your leadership in helping to get our city off to the right start for the census. So thank you very much to our mayor and city council, as well as to our executive team. I think I've seen the city manager, Ed Zerger. Thank you so much for your leadership and support. Assistant City Manager Deanna Jonovich, also Assistant City Manager Milton DeHone, to MAG, Maricopa Association of Governments, and of course, Census Bureau, thank you so much for the partnership. It truly takes a team to work on this type of a program. Last but definitely not least, I'd like to say a special thanks to my colleagues in other departments. Public Transit Department, thank you for your support and sharing in the vision of having vehicles like we're highlighting today come. To our Public Works Department as well, who are helping us get the vehicles ready. And then also, Matt Arve, I'd like to give you a special shout out, you and your staff. Thank you so much for helping us come up with a vision that really is going to showcase us on a national level. So thank you for your leadership, and the IT department for helping us pull out today's event. So recently, Phoenix voters spoke loud and clear about how much they value the services provided by the City of Phoenix. And today, we are gathered to kick off a campaign of an effort that is truly a lifeline of those services, the Phoenix 2020 Census. The campaign's goal is to ensure all efforts are made so that every household, every community, and every person living in Phoenix participates in the 2020 Census. Here to kick us off this morning is our fearless leader who understands the importance of the census and the impact it will have on the nation's fastest growing city, Phoenix, and of course our ability as a city to have the appropriate resources so that all Phoenicians have the ability to be successful. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our mayor, Mayor Kate Gallego.
Thank you, Albert, for that wonderful introduction and for the hard work you are doing on behalf of this community. As you can see, we are committed to having one of the most fun census efforts ever, as well as one of the most accurate, and we appreciate the work Albert and his team are doing to make sure that we conduct innovative partnerships and that we reach people where they are in our communities. It is a big job to conduct the census in America's fastest growing city, and that's why we're launching innovative partnerships like we have not seen throughout this country before. Thank you for being with us here today. We are looking forward to working closely with the state of Arizona, and we are excited to be joined today by Alec Thompson, who is the Executive Director of the Complete Count Committee for the state of Arizona. I am also grateful for the leadership by the members of the Phoenix City Council. Councilwoman Williams has been leading our effort with great help, and we are excited to have Councilwoman Deborah Stark and Councilwoman Michael Nowakowski here today. It is truly a citywide effort, and we are grateful for their leadership and innovative thinking. We are proud of our iCount committee, our iCount 2020 effort, which recognizes that each of us counts individually towards the success of our entire community, and that individuals can work together, but we collectively benefit from counting each and every person who lives here. When you are counted in the census, it is not just for you. It is for your family, your community, and our collective future. The census helps determine our congressional delegation and make sure that we get the representation we need and deserve when we have federal funds distributed. In Phoenix, many city services rely on federal funding, including these vans, which were dial-a-ride vans, helping people get throughout our community effectively. Census helps us get police, fire services, libraries, parks, housing, and education. We receive $866 million annually. And an accurate census count helps us prepare for the future needs of our community. This census will be different from previous censuses. It will help us, we will have the opportunity to respond by internet and phone for the first time ever, as well as the traditional mail-in method. Digital response means that we will be able to see responses as they come in day by day, neighborhood by neighborhood. It will help us tailor our outreach to those who haven't responded, to know where to send these fabulous vans to go. We know that there's been exciting connections with the digital world, but there's still a digital divide. Not everyone has access or is comfortable using the internet. The city is working to minimize this divide. We are exploring all the options we have to put city resources to work to provide internet access to those who need it. We also need your help. Make sure your family and friends fill out and return their 2020 census form and participate in our many volunteer opportunities. We're going to have a lot of fun as we do this. Each organization in this city has a role to play in helping ensure their members are counted towards the future of Phoenix. In the spirit of this collective effort by the City of Phoenix, we have created the 2020 Mobile Census Vehicles. These vehicles showcase the creative work that our City of Phoenix census team has done in pulling together resources from across the city and the private sector to create the first of its kind public-private partnership to reach residents where they are. Our census team identified vehicles belonging to the City of Phoenix Transit Department that were going to be sold at auction and made a request to borrow them to serve as mobile census vehicles. They are fully ADA accessible. We were able to do this thanks to our incredible partners at Cisco and Microsoft. We thank you for working with us in this innovative way. We could not have done it without you. I also want to join Albert in thanking Matt Arvey for helping us bring together this great partnership, as well as all of the departments. This has truly been a citywide effort, and it makes me very proud of our city. but it has been led by Albert Santana, and I will welcome him back up and thank him again for his great work.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And again, just to highlight, it takes a team, and truly we are proud here today to be the first public-private partnership for the 2020 census. And I think it really showcases, to the Mayor's point, the innovation and the partnerships that we have both interdepartmentally as well as with our friends in the corporate sector as well. And on that, I'd like to bring to the stage two individuals representing Microsoft as well as Cisco. First, representing Microsoft, Paul Inglis, to join us. If we could give him a round of applause so he can share a few words on Microsoft and the important partnership we have with them. Thank you, Paul.
Okay. I'm going to look really tall today. Thank you, Albert, Mayor, the City Council, Layla, wherever you are, everybody who made this moment possible. So I am Paul Inglis, and I'm honored to represent Microsoft today at this event. Microsoft has a strong commitment to investing in the communities that we call home, and Microsoft has a strong presence here in the greater Phoenix area. We have a regional sales office in Tempe, and that's where our commercial sales team resides. In fact, they brought this project to the table for us because they've been involved in conversations around enabling smart cities, and so this project is really a result of that particular work. We also have two retail stores, one in Scottsdale, one in Chandler. You may have shopped at those locations. Our retail team is also a partner in this project. I'm actually part of the data center team, and as you may know, a few weeks ago with Governor Ducey, we announced that we're going to build data centers in Goodyear and El Mirage. So Microsoft's presence in the Valley of the Sun is strong and is certainly growing. Microsoft has a strong commitment to civic responsibility. Our technology touches billions of lives around the globe every day. And our business practices and our policies really reflect a commitment to making sure that technology is used for positive things. And that includes really accepting the responsibility that our technology can create opportunities, build bridges, advance communities, and enable smart cities. And just thinking about civic responsibility, the U.S. Census and our participation in that is really one of the most foundational civic responsibilities we have, probably second only to voting. And so really thinking about that civic responsibility, this project really aligns with Microsoft's values, and so we're really happy to be a part of this. Getting ready for this event, I actually did a little bit of research about the census, and I was really kind of marveling at the evolution of the census and the technology has been involved in the census and the collection of data. The census has evolved, in terms of the questions that have been asked, the way data is collected and enumerated. Did you know that in 1890, the first automated tabulation machine was used? It was actually a punch card system. That was actually a little sobering for me because I remember in my first computer programming class in college, I actually used a punch card system. And I'll assure you that I did not go to college in 1890. Statistical sampling was actually introduced in 1940. And it wasn't until actually 1960 that we started mailing out census forms to respondents. And it wasn't until 1970 that we allowed respondents to return those census forms via mail. Up until that point, we really relied on census enumerators, people who went door to door, household to household to collect data. Of course, with the 1990s and the rise of the internet age, online data collection became more and more important until here we are today. So one of the things I find interesting is that these vans really combine the role of those original census enumerators with the technology today, the online technology for collecting data. So I find it what's old is new again, and we're taking lessons from the past and applying them to today to create a better census. So we look forward to a successful census here in the city of Phoenix and across the state of Arizona. So thank you again for allowing Microsoft to be part of this project.
Thank you for being here.
So if you've just joined us right now, what you're watching is a City of Phoenix event that's introducing some new vans that will be used for the 2020 census count. So the city has been able to repurpose old dial-a-ride vans and make them usable for the census count. So let me show you a little bit here of what one of the vans looks like. So this is one of the vans here on this side, and as you can see, this van with its open door has quite an array of equipment inside that can help us to have an accurate count for this year's census. So these are tablets inside here, and it has internet access, and it's been refitted from an old dial-a-ride van to be part of the process to have an accurate count for the 2020 census this year. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. As the census comes up, please fill out your forms. If you have any trouble, you can contact us here at the City of Phoenix, find out the location of one of these vans, and have a census form filled out for you. It's very important that we have an accurate count for the census. It means a lot of money for the city, and an accurate count is so important with Phoenix and Maricopa County being one of the fastest growing regions in the country, if not the fastest. So a very important process, and something that the City Council is behind, the mayor is behind, and our leadership with Albert Santana and Layla that are making sure that this happens. So I'm going to flip the camera on one more time before we say goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Access to skills.